Hey folks, we're back. That's right. A second season of the Our Balls Are Bigger postgame show after every green and white game. Join me along with my co-host Kyrie Zaber, the former NFLer and CFLer, and accomplished high school football coach Ryan Hall, as we break down each week's game for you. And new this year, we will welcome your telephone calls. So yeah, it's like a regular call-in show. Call in, we'll chop it up with you. Can't wait to have another fun season. It's the Our Balls Are Bigger postgame show. And the 112th Grey Cup going to the Saskatchewan Roughriders, winning their first title since they were last in the Grey Cup in 2013. Roughriders with a 25-17 win over the Montreal Alouettes, and kind of appropriate, I guess, if you're a Rider fan, because the Riders couldn't win in Winnipeg to save their souls. And this year they went in and won the Banjo Bowl, and they go into the Grey Cup and beat the Montreal Alouettes. And now listen, two totally different teams, in terms of the organizations, right? Because in 2009, coached by Mark Trestman, 2010, coached by Mark Trestman, the Riders lose the 13th man game. They lose the 2010 game, but they exact some revenge here, killing two birds with one stone, beating the Alouettes and doing it in Winnipeg. And the Saskatchewan Roughriders are your 2025 Grey Cup champs. It looked lopsided for a good chunk of the game. The Riders looked like the more physical, hungrier team. The Montreal Alouettes, though, they weren't going to go quietly, and they did not, coming back and really making a game of that one. I feel really bad. Like, they're professional athletes, but I got a different perspective now. And you had Shea Patterson. So many storylines when you watch sports. Sports is the best version of reality TV. So Shea Patterson, who was a Rough Rider, was let go by the team, joins the Winnipeg Blue Bombers in the offseason, doesn't even make it through the first part of training camp, gets released, and then when Montreal gets injuries, he gets added to the Alouettes roster, and he becomes their short yardage quarterback. And fortunately for him, he scores the first touchdown of the game for the Alouettes in the first quarter, which was ironic. Does it against his old team, in the place where he started the season, kind of full circle in a 9-team league. And then at the end of the ball game, the chance with the Alouettes to potentially tie, because they needed a touchdown at a 2-point convert, tries the sneak, and he was a little loose with the ball in those short yardage situations, and he definitely wasn't as confident. You weren't as confident watching him. He's a smaller quarterback, so you're not as confident as when Tommy Stevens, the big third down specialist for the Rough Riders, comes in and gets you that first down almost every time in short yardage situations. So, he's kind of loose with the ball. Tavon Campbell, who kind of had an up and down game. He got beat a couple of times, but that's the life of a corner. Got beat a couple of times as he was matched one-on-one with Tyson Philpott. And then he has an interception on a bad throw by Davis Alexander. And we'll talk about him as the night goes on. And then when he needed it, saved the bacon of his kicker, Brett Lothar, who missed the 38-yard field goal, and you thought, oh no, because we had talked about it earlier, is Brett Lothar going to let this team down in a big situation? And it appeared he would, but at the goal line, Tavon Campbell, with a play that will go down in Rider history. That will go down in Rider history, that play, as he absolutely blows up the tight end, pushes him back into Shea Patterson. The fumble recovered by Marcus Sales, who had a dandy game, and the Saskatchewan Roughriders secured the Grey Cup 25-17 over the Montreal Alouettes. We're just waiting for my co-host tonight. That would be Isaac Harker. He's trying to join us, just having trouble jumping on. Is he here yet? He is here? Oh, there he is. There he is, former quarterback of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. So we're going to make sure we got everything good to go there. I'm going to take a break. We'll have our first sponsor break, and then we're going to bring on Isaac Harker. If you got questions for Isaac, the number to call, 306-992-6955. Doesn't happen every day. The Saskatchewan Roughriders win their 5th Grey Cup with a somewhat convincing 25-17 win over the Montreal Alouettes. We'll be back in a moment. This is the Our Balls Are Bigger postgame show. The Italian Star Deli, providing Regina and area with quality specialty products since 1966. When you visit the Italian Star Deli, you're truly part of the family. So drop by any time and they'll help you find whatever your heart and palate may desire. Whether you're looking for olive oil, specialty meats and cheeses, pasta, sea salt, vinegar, canned tomatoes, or one of their mouth-watering famous sandwiches. You're sure to find it and so much more at the Italian Star Deli, 1631 Victoria Avenue, Regina. All right, pretty hellacious hit in this game. It was a big-time slobber knocker. Murray comes up and he hits Dante Myers on a pass. That would be our takeout of the game. Big hit. Physical game, but you know what? All things considered, pretty well-played penalty-free game. We welcome on former Saskatchewan Roughrider quarterback Isaac Harker. I asked you if you'd have a chance to watch it. You said you did. What'd you think of the game overall overarching thoughts, Isaac?
Yeah, start to finish. The first quarter was really slow to go. And then once everybody started kind of getting into their groove, there was some really good football plays, especially in the second half.
Yeah, so it really was an interesting start to the game. So Davis Alexander comes in, and we didn't know how it would look for him because he is a dual-threat quarterback, kind of like a Nathan Rourke. And, man, he's a young gun, a young up-and-coming quarterback, and we need more of those in the CFL. So even in a loss, his first as a starting quarterback in the CFL, he showed a lot of good things. But part of his magic is being able to pull the ball and run. And I thought, he ran towards the end of the first half, Isaac, and I thought, where was that earlier? But you could see that he still had a little glitch in his giddy up there. And just talk about those soft tissue injuries and what that, because you were a little elusive too at times too. But what's it like when half your game's gone, basically?
Yeah, the soft tissues are especially hard to heal. So even if it happens weeks ago, it's a lot more likely to flare up over the course of a game. And you could tell he wasn't himself, but he was going through.
Yeah, he definitely was not himself in the football game. And but, man, can he throw that ball? And I'll get to Trevor Harris. Don't worry. He's the MVP. We got a lot of time to talk about him. But, man, Davis Alexander, just talk about playing that position and the grit that he had and fighting through it. And he can rip that football for sure.
Yeah, like a cannon of an arm. During the first quarter, it seemed like they wanted to get some shots, and then once they kind of settled into the game plan, and Moss is especially good with a lot of screens, and I thought once he was on, he was pretty locked. He was trying to make goals. I think he was trying to stay away from it at the start of the game, but then once he started getting the wheels going, things started really, it was just coming to play.
Isaac, I'm just going to ask you, I know you had a little issue logging in here, so I'm just going to ask you because we do want to hear you. Do you have, I think it would help if you had earphones, would it not? Do you have any earbuds or anything you can get to hook into this?
Yeah, let me see. Okay. Pretty nasty.
Okay, so I'll let you get some earbuds and we'll talk here. I'll talk while you go find some earbuds. Okay, it's all good, man. We're rough around the edges here. That's okay. I can been doing it long enough. Let's get to a couple of these comments. Yeah, I don't care. Asparagus Electric. What did you DM Vintage Sasko that got you blocked? A Vintage Sasko is a passionate rider fan. All I will say is this. Don't believe don't believe everything you read on the internet. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. Don't believe everything you hear on the internet. He said that I made things personal, and if I don't make things personal anymore, that it's going to be okay. And basically, he was threatening me in the DMs. And I told him, how can I make it personal, Vintage Sasko, when I don't know your name? Like, you're using a fake name. How can I make things personal? That's all I'm going to say. Don't believe everything you see on the internet. It's whatever. Congratulations to him and the rest of Rider Nation. They're having a great time partying, as they should. I'm happy for Rider Nation. Like, anytime I say something against the Riders, it's like, oh, you're bitter ballsy, or you're bitter bomber ballsy. Listen, I'm cheering for the Blue Bombers. My kid plays on the team. But I stopped at the Four Seasons, got myself a nice pizza and some Greek dry ribs and wings from my buddy George Yanitz. It's a big Rider fan. Talked to a lot of Rider fans there. And yeah, man, I covered this team for 20 years on the radio. And I got this one from, who's that? Macho Looker. I miss hearing you on the radio, Ballsy. Well, you don't, hey, come here. I'm here every day after the post-game show now. So I'm happy to be here and doing this. I appreciate that. Wayne Grollo says, woohoo, way to go, Riders. Yeah, absolutely. Saskatchewan Roughriders. Congratulations. Absolutely. 25-17 victory over the Montreal Alouettes. And this fan base, listen, the Grey Cup was played in the heartland of football. People didn't like me saying that, but it is. When Winnipeg sells out 14 straight games, they deserve to be in the same category with the Rough Rider fans, at least in the last 8 to 10 years, being considered some of the best fans in the league. Now, are the Riders the anchor fan base in the league? Yes, I've said that. I will say that again. They're Canada's team in the fact that they travel the best. They're at a lot of, well, that's not entirely true because the Bomber fans really helped sell out the Labor Day Classic here. I didn't see a lot of Rider fans at the Banjo Bowl, but they made up for it now. They're in Winnipeg partying it up tonight. So, yeah, it was a absolutely great week. The fans came out. They enjoyed themselves. Rider Nation could travel at a cheaper cost to get to Winnipeg. So it all worked out well for Rider Nation. And kudos to Rider Nation. They deserve this. They've been, like I said, they've been the anchor. There's a reason why the Atlantic Bowls, the 2 Atlantic Canada games in Wolfville and at St. Mary's in Halifax were played back-to-back years there, and the Riders were the team because Rider fans, the tractor factor. So kudos to them, and tip of the cap. A lot of my relatives, friends, family, everybody's texting me Rider pictures, and that's great. Congratulations. I am happy for Rider fans, believe it or not. There he is, Isaac Harker, former quarterback of the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
You got me all right?
Yeah, I got you now, man. Hey, so let's talk about Shea Patterson on that goal line play. Now, there are plays in Rider history that you'll look back on, and we actually have a couple here that I'll get to, but you'll look back on some plays in Rider history, a couple of G. Roy Simon touchdowns in the Grey Cup before you remember the team, long before, the Kerry Joseph Labor Day run. There's the Dave Ridgway kick for the Grey Cup. There's James Johnson's 3 interceptions in the Grey Cup against Winnipeg in 2007. But that Tavon Campbell play at the goal line, what a stud play. Talk about it from the quarterback's perspective. Was he a little loosey-goosey, or was that just a great play by Tavon Campbell, Isaac?
That's something I did want to talk to you about because it looked like he had 2 hands on it. So I don't know if it just slipped out of his hands. I know he really bucked that dude into him, and it might have gotten just like a perfect hit on the ball, which will, if the helmet gets on the ball, it's coming out no matter how high you have it. And I was watching it so close. I was like, what happened? It was a perfect hit. It looked like it slipped out of his hands.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Tavon smacks the tight end, or the guy who was blocking on the end of the line, and right into Shea Patterson, and Marcus Sales is on there to make the play. Now, you play on the offensive side of things, but And as a quarterback, Isaac, you have to have a real, you have to have mental toughness. You do. But as a defensive back, you do too. Like Tavon Campbell, he got rung up a few times by Tyson Philpott, who's an outstanding Canadian receiver. But he made an interception and he made that huge play. So you got to have a short memory. You can't get too high and you can't get too low, right?
No doubt. And playing DB, it's just the nature of the game that you're gonna get one up on you a few times a game, and you just have to have that mentality that you're that dude on the field. So for him to come back and make an amazing play, I think it speaks to the mentality of him, but not only him, the entire team as well.
So this is the other thing people like to say about me is, hey, my presentation is not as soft as, say, an Isaac Harker. Isaac, you're a very polite young man. And I'm polite, but I'm rough around the edges. I'm pretty passionate, as I see a few people mentioning that. So I'm very forceful when it comes to what I think about rules and when I think about this and what I think about that. I have to say, though, I do admit when I'm wrong. I did not see this coming from AJ Ouellette. He's been, I think, he wasn't the MVP in this game, but he was their MVP. And I think it's kind of ironic that Andrew Harris comes over from, Winnipeg and Toronto lore to be the running backs coach. And in the Bombers' heyday, and with Andrew Harris and Brady Oliveira, it was the one CFL offense where everything went through the ground game. Like, it started through the ground game. Usually in the CFL, the pass sets up the run, not with the Bombers. And Andrew Harris comes here, and he, I think, had a lot to do with AJ Ouellette's success. I thought AJ was washed up after last year. They bought some damaged goods, but kudos to him and what he did in this game and in this season, Isaac.
Yeah, and today especially, you could tell he was a man with a mission. He was running the ball. He was running the ball downhill. And not only that, but he looked like he was moving really well today. A couple of those runs, especially in the first quarter, he was getting loose and looking elusive and speed down the sideline.
Hey, so I'm gonna ask you something here, okay? Folks, just help us out because we want Isaac to be heard. So Isaac, on your screen there should be a little speaker symbol. If you can turn off the Evo reduction function, if you can see that there. What's that? Echo reduction. Sorry, I thought it said Evo. It said Evo on my thing. Echo reduction. Can you see that there?
Yeah, I've got it turned off. Whether it's on or off, I'm getting a pretty bad echo.
Yeah, he's getting a pretty bad. Actually, he sounds better there than he did a couple seconds ago. Okay, well, maybe we'll keep you here for a few minutes here before we let you go here, Isaac. We do want to talk to you, though, and I do want to have you on or ask you about something that you've been involved with a project. Okay, so yeah, AJ Ouellette, really sets the table for Trevor Harris. Trevor Harris, not the strongest arm quarterback, but very accurate and can read defenses. And kudos to Trevor Harris. I think Trevor Harris was a Hall of Famer, whether he won or not. He won too as a backup, but he felt, and a lot of the experts think he's a Canadian Football Hall of Famer, but he has to win. He gets it today. Just talk about playing the most important position, Isaac, and the pressure that's on you. 39 years old. You got more yesterdays than tomorrows in this game of football. But just talk about him and his performance today.
Boy, he plays the game in such a way where it's everything is so anticipation based, and so prior to the snap, I haven't talked to him personally about it, but I think 60% of the time he knows the one or two options he's going to go when the play starts, get the ball out on, and that's the most impressive thing about his play. And then secondarily, his accuracy. He's putting the ball in a coffee cup when he's stuck.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Isaac, what I'm going to do is next week I'm going to call you back and we'll do this better because I want to sit down. We'll get you to get a full breakdown of the Grey Cup. Maybe even tomorrow I'll do that if you're around. We'll call you tomorrow. Okay, does that sound okay?
That works for me. I'm struggling with the
No. I just want to make sure this is good. So I'll actually call you tomorrow and we'll tape something, okay?
That sounds good to me.
Talk to you later, buddy. Talk to you soon.
See ya.
All right, that's Isaac Harker. Yeah, sorry, folks. We tried to make it work, but it just didn't work, and I do apologize. Okay, we're going to take a break, get back to some of your comments. Saskatchewan Roughriders, your 2025 Grey Cup champs. They walk out of Winnipeg's Princess Auto Stadium with a 25-17 victory for their 5th title in team history. Ward Tirecraft Regina, proud to be the last of the small town style tire and automotive shops in the city, prioritizing the happiness of their customers and the safety of their vehicles. They've had some of the same customers for over 40 years, including yours truly, which is why I asked them to come on board as a sponsor for my shows. For all your tire and mechanical needs, go see Michael Barth and his crew at 101 Dudney Avenue. Tell them Ballsy sent you, and you get 10% off. All right, welcome back. Yeah, sorry about Isaac Harker. He's such a great kid. And he was actually involved in that show, Chad Powers. He was helping with the quarterbacking aspect of it, that one that's on I think it's on, is it Amazon Prime? Anyway, Chad Powers, you can find it. All right, let's get to some of these comments here, and yeah, you can chat or you can call me. Call in studio 306 992-6955 is our number. 306-992-6955. You see it at the bottom of the screen there. Kevin says, Riders are the champs. We are the champs. Yeah, absolutely. Pressured up. I miss your passion on the broadcast too, and thank you for continuing on afterwards. I'd rather be here than there. Appreciate that. And tell all your friends. Rider Nation was noticed at the Grey Cup this year. Lots of Bomber jerseys too, though. Yeah. Kevin says Riders sell more merch than the rest of the league put together. Not true. Not true. Not true. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers sell a lot of merchandise, actually, Kevin. They have... You won't want to admit it. Winnipeg doesn't like to admit... Now that I'm in the middle of it, Regina and Winnipeg don't like to admit they're very the same. Winnipeg is a big Regina. The Riders have blazed the trail for years with their merch and with their fan base. I'm not going to go against that. I was a Rider fan since I was 6, so I'm not going to go against that. But I'm also not going to turn my back on the fact that the Winnipeg Blue Bombers have a first-class organization that do it right, and they've got, you go to their stores at their stadium, and the fans would have seen it today. Very on par with what the Riders have at Mosaic Stadium. Very on par. So I will say that. This from Robert Campbell. Before the season started, I didn't think the Riders could win the Grey Cup with 39-year-old Trevor Harris. I was wrong. Kim Johnson says, woohoo, what a win. Love you, Ballsy. Love you too, Kim. Hey, back to Trevor Harris for a second. So, and here's the thing I run into. Here's the thing I run into when I do these shows, or going forward. Being that I'm not with the team anymore, and whenever I say something negative towards the Riders or that I'm criticizing them, it's like I'm being bitter and immediately dismissed. That's not it. I call it like I see it. And last season and before this season, Trevor Harris had only dressed for a full season one time in his career, and I don't even think he was the starting quarterback then. So he had some injuries, and after last season, he only played 11 games, was still a West Division All-Star, still got his team to the West Final, and I said he's an All-Star quarterback, and he's a great quarterback, and it has nothing to do with talent, but the Riders should be looking for the next guy. He's 38, going to be 39. I said it. I put it out there. I said, maybe get a Trey Ford, maybe get a Jake Mayer, which they got, and have Trevor take a team-friendly deal and maybe even get him to come off the bench. I said that. Difference between me and a lot of people is a lot of these keyboard warriors and these people on the sewer pipe known as X is they hide behind their names, their vintage whatever, and they hide behind their names. I stand by what I say, and I always will. So I said that. Trevor texted me that, said, hey, what's going on? Like, what is this about? And Trevor and I have not been on as good a terms as we were when I was the voice of the team because he didn't like that comment. And that's the alpha dog in him. But I tip my cap to Trevor Harris. He, at 39, treats his body in immaculate shape. And Trevor Harris, he's not going to beat you all by himself, but he dissects defenses. He has an accurate arm. And they built a team around Trevor Harris, and he guided that team from the start of the year till the end of the year, only missed one game, and they were the best team from pillar to post. You don't see that every year in the CFL, but they were the best team from pillar to post. And I texted him last night. I said, go get the trophy that you deserve and cement your legacy. I sent him that text. He said, thanks, Ballsy, and that's it. So I don't even want to say I was wrong. I just said they should get a Jake Mayer or a Trey Ford and look for the next guy. Well, now Trevor Harris is 39, and people are like, well, they even asked him on the podium, are you going to quit? Is this your last year? Well, he just won a championship. I don't know. I love James Duthie. He's great. He brought a lot to that broadcast. But I don't know if that's the time to ask him. He's not going to answer anyway. But I think he said he's somewhere between his peak and retirement, so that's a pretty good answer. Why would he retire? He just won a Grey Cup. The team is they still got good pieces here. I know there will be a big turnover like there is every year in the CFL. I mean, where's he going to go to make the money he's going to make? Even if he goes into coaching, he's not going to make the money he's going to make right now, and he still showed you he could play. Showed all of us he could play. And so, yeah, kudos to Trevor Harris. I'm glad that he won the Grey Cup. He deserves it, and it cements his legacy as a Canadian Football Hall of Famer. This other comment, Winnipeg has 3 times the population. Their fans don't have to travel, which makes the sellouts much easier. Yeah, maybe. But how about you just give them some respect? How about you give them respect that you're not the only ones carrying the league? That you have your, as Christian says, your ugly cousins from the next province over helping you to carry the league. By the way, did anybody hear the commissioner? So Mark Carney got booed, as a lot of politicians do, especially in the West. Although Winnipeg's more liberal than Saskatchewan for sure. But the only guy booed worse than Mark Carney was Commissioner Stuart Johnston. Did you hear those boos when he was handing out the trophy? Man, did he get booed. And maybe for good reason, trying to change the rules. I'm sorry, folks. But was that not, and now Rider fans will agree with this, was that not the greatest? That was probably the best playoffs that I can remember in the last 20 years from pillar to post. You had Montreal and Winnipeg. Alouettes get up early. Winnipeg comes back. Looks like they're going to win in dramatic fashion. Montreal wins. You had Montreal beat Hamilton in a walk-off field goal defensive struggle to get to the Grey Cup. You had Calgary choke job a game against BC. The Lions win that one on a last-second field goal. You had the Lions kind of choke job the game against the Riders, but the Riders still had a win with Trevor Harris in that legacy-saving drive in the West Final, 11 seconds. And then you had this game. And who on their couch wasn't going, oh no, Brett Lothar just cost us the Grey Cup. 38-yard field goal, pushes it wide to the right. And because the Rouge is in play, the returner, Tice, has to bring it out. He's got to get it out because if the Riders get a point there, it's 26-17 and it's a 2-score game. That's exciting to me. Isn't that exciting to me? Or to you? That's exciting to me. Come on now. Why would we want to get rid of that? What? It's not the game. You know what it is? TSN did a great job in the pregame. TSN with their camera angles was outstanding. And TSN with their 2 panels, spectacular. James Duthie, Luke Wilson, who's slung some more mud this week, but we We talked behind the scenes because that's how I want to deal with things now. And we came to an agreement. He saw my side of things. So I got James Duthie, Luke Wilson, and Zach Collaros, who did a great job. You could tell that we didn't want to be there. I love the competitor, Zach Collaros. What a great guy. So Zach Collaros, Luke Wilson, and James Duthie. Perfect. Over here you had Kate, Enoch Mwamba, Davis, and Milt. I thought that was their best day as panelists since they've been together. But we're going to change the goalposts in the field. But TSN can't get their audio and their picture. It keeps blacking out. You're the national broadcaster. This is your main entity. And you dudes and dudettes, this is it. This is the game. This is the pinnacle. Nothing can go wrong. They did butcher the intros. The flyover sucked. That maybe wasn't TSN's fault, obviously. The flyover was like from the solar system. The intros sucked. They should be individually introed. It should be an individual thing, not all the teams. I think the Riders fucked that up in 2013 when they all ran out at Mosaic Stadium. Remember that? When they were introducing the Tiger Cats individually and the Riders all rushed out onto the field. And after that, I think it's all been changed. So, I don't know, man. I don't think it's the game. There's a lot of other things that need to be fixed. And then kudos to the commissioner. Looks like he is fixing it. It looks like he is fixing it. We're getting an app. Late, but I like it. We're going to get updated websites for the teams and the league. Fantasy football. Here's the thing, though. I put a big asterisk here because the CFL has proven to me they haven't done anything right in the past that way. We got a new commissioner. He seems very committed to that. So I've never met the guy. I'd love to have him on my show, but I've never been in a room with him, so I have to take him at face value. And he also says 3 downs, 65-yard wide field, motion, all that stuff. He didn't say anything about Canadians, but so I have to take him at face value there. Luke was all over me that I should have apologized to the commissioner. No, I'm not apologizing. He fucked up the announcement. The commissioner screwed up the announcement. And kudos to him, he admitted it this week that he screwed it up about whether we're going 3 downs and being very vague there. Okay? But the way he handled it, the way he didn't include his partners, I still don't know why we're changing the field. Like, why are we getting rid of the 55? Why are we making the end zones shorter? Why are we moving the goalposts back when it's not the game? We've had the best stretch of football we've had in 20 years in the playoffs. And your flagship team won the Grey Cup against a team that has a really good owner, and they had sellout crowds this year. There's nothing wrong with the game. You said scoring is up, which it is. Ratings are up, which it is. The attendance is up, which it is. So why are we doing this? And he also said we're not doing it for U.S. expansion. We're not doing it for U.S. expansion. We'd maybe like a 10th team in the CFL, but we're not doing any of that. So why are we doing it? Why are we changing the rule? Because here it is. Each commissioner needs to do his own thing. Orange gave us the boring logo. Ambrosi gave us the bullshit global thing. And Baldonado? Happy Baldonado had a great game for the Rough Riders. He's not one of those global mannequins, but for the most part, they're kickers and mannequins. So that was Randy's thing. And then this guy, he comes in, his vision's to move the goalposts back and shorten the field and make it look like an American field. What else is it? So he's going to do this. That's his big vision. And so they'll let him run with his vision. But when his vision fails, it'll be like everything else. He'll get fired, he'll get his money, and we'll be on to the next guy. I don't understand that. Now, maybe they can walk this back. We'll see. I don't think changing the field's going to work. I do not think it's going to work, but I have no say over that. I have a son in the league whose paycheck depends on this league surviving. So if that's what they think, I'm going to say I don't agree with it, but I'm going to take a step back and go, okay, I can buy this. Not buy it, but I can sit back. You know how I feel, and that ain't changing. And I'm a 3-down defender, and I'll never apologize for that. I've been here long before some of these guys covering this league, and I'll be here long after they're gone. I'm a defender of Canadian football. From the grassroots all the way up, I stand that on my resume. Call me cocky, whatever, I don't care. So I'm not going to apologize for that. There is nothing wrong with this game. That was an exciting football game. Had everything in it. It was outstanding. And if TSN would put that type of effort in to their games, that's how you get people different camera angles. And I know I don't have the budget in front of me, and it's obviously a bigger budget for the Grey Cup. But if you put great announcers and panelists that actually, they're buttoned up, they're ready to go. You got the, like I said, the camera work, the production, the graphics. That's what the NFL does. That's what the CFL needs to do. We need to do that type of thing because we already have the secret sauce. Leave the game alone. So we had Ward Tirecraft, the drive. Thanks to them, they were one of the first guys to get on board. The drive of the game, well, honestly, the drive of the game, I don't know if it was a drive of the game, but drives of the game. The Riders controlled the second quarter, and they controlled the third quarter. And that really was the bang-bang plays in the game, in terms of the drive. So it wasn't necessarily drive, it was drives. Riders controlled the second and the third quarter. Got a little dicey there in the fourth till Tavon Campbell made one of the plays that goes down in Saskatchewan Roughrider history. By the way, where does that play? Hit me up right now, 306-992-6955. How you feeling tonight, Rider Nation? How do you feel about the win? Where does that play by Tavon Campbell rank in the history of Saskatchewan Roughrider plays? That's got to be right up there. That is a Grey Cup saving play by Tavon Campbell. We'll take a break and be back with more in a moment here on Ballsy's Our Balls Are Bigger postgame show. Payson Insurance specializes in helping hard-to-insure people get coverage. They also offer a range of financial management and investment services to help secure your future. People care most about their money and their family. I personally trust Kevin. Best way to describe dealing with him are the 3 C's. He's comfortable to deal with, he cares about your future, and he's confident in helping you make the right financial decisions. Payson Insurance. Give them a call, 306-596-0244. All right, Trevor Harris was absolutely on the money tonight. When he gets time to throw the football, he's very hard to stop. And so Trevor Harris on the money all night. I'd say if I'm picking one play, it was that pass down the sidelines to Sam Emilus, who was the outstanding Canadian. I love me some Sam Emilus. When he is healthy, he's one of the best receivers, top 3 receiver in the CFL. He really is. And you could make a case the best receiver in the CFL. Down the sidelines, that would have been a catch in the NFL with 2 feet on the sidelines near his bench. That was the on the money play. Kevin Payson, Payson Insurance Services. Thanks to him for getting on board. Okay, you got that play lined up? Okay, folks, if you're watching, Leander's taking this to the next level. I appreciate that. So there are 2 big plays for Montreal. Kavion Ento, who's a great corner for the Alouettes. This is early in the game. No score. If the Saskatchewan... Trevor Harris had a great game, but if this was not a good play by Trevor Harris, trying to go to his buddy AJ Ouellette, if Ento picks this one off, all of a sudden the Alouettes are riding a high. I think this was, as they like to say, the TSN turning point. This right here, I would say, is my... and we'll run the sponsor after this. This was my lit play of the game for the Den. Check this play out here, folks. So you got Ento at the top of the screen, the corner, across from a Joe. They swing it out to Ouellette, and Ento jumps it. He has it, and he drops it. If he picks that off, he's going back, pick 6. That's the second time in 3 games he's dropped it. Kavion Ento, watch this, folks. Trevor Harris, one of the few times he panicked this game, steps up. Oh, here comes the rush, looking off, going to dump it off to Ouellette. And, if that is picked off, it is gone. Trevor, here it is again. TSN, thanks to them for the coverage there. And, dropped. Now, if you can find that one at the start of the second quarter there, Leander, I think I told you it was at, I don't know if I gave you the time there. It was at 12:14 of the second quarter, okay? So if you can find that, that'd be great. If you can keep looking for that for me. This from Andrew Miller. TSN's coverage was very good. Kevin says, ballsy, I agree with you. Why are we changing the game? The game is the best. It's the league itself that needs to pick up their game. 35-second play clock is going to take away a play. A minute from the game. Yeah, it's going to take. I'm interested to see how they do that 35-second play clock. Andrew says, I've timed it. 35-second play clock is likely to speed things up a bit, but leave the last 3 minutes alone. They got to leave the last 3 minutes alone. Okay, so there's Kavion Ento. Let's rewind that again just a tad. So Kavion Ento drops the interception. He wasn't very good tackling tonight. Looked like he wanted to do anything but tackle. And that's not just him. Darnell Sankey had an off game. So watch this play. You got Emlis running a corner and the in cut here to Dante Myers. He gets his right arm around the waist of Dante Myers and breaks that pass up. That was a third down gamble for Corey Mace. Corey Mace, whether it was him or he's getting help upstairs, watch this. Ento reads it. Does a great job coming in. It's hard enough to play defense as it is. In the NFL, this isn't a penalty. In the NFL, that's not a penalty. In the CFL, it is. Unfortunately, it is. I don't think it was. I'm not cheering against the Riders. I don't think that was a penalty. Not in a Grey Cup. He got his arm around there briefly and then batted it down. But good challenge by Corey Mace, and the Saskatchewan Roughriders get to keep the ball, and Tommy Stevens scores the touchdown. All right, so I want to bring this up too, okay? Actually, that was our lit play of the game, our two lit plays of the game. So let's run that sponsor, okay? The Den, please. And then I'll come back.
Athletes aren't built during the season. They're built here in the off season, where real progress happens. At the Den Sports Performance and Agility Center, they don't just train, they develop. For athletes ages 13 to 17, they offer team packages and individual group training with up to 5 weekly sessions of your choice of dryland or strength-focused work. Every program blends strength, agility, balance, mobility, speed, and recovery with a focus on durability that most programs overlook. Because showing up on game day means staying strong all season. Every session is coached by a certified speed and strength specialist and focused on long-term athletic success, not quick fixes. Flexible programming, real results. The Den Sports Performance and Agility Center is where serious athletes level up. Book your spot now at thedenyqr.ca.
All right, welcome back. Yeah, Leander, it's right near about 3 minutes to go. We'll try to get that play up with the Riders going forward. It's in the fourth quarter, so you have to back it up a little bit there. About 3 minutes to go. They're down near the goal line. I want to give a shout out to Jeremy O'Day. In 2022 and 2023, when I was the play-by-play voice, I went to bat for him on the radio a lot when fans would pile on about him not being able to build an offensive line. Because as a voice of the team, that was your job. So I used to battle the callers who said, we got to get rid of this guy. He's one of the greatest offensive linemen of all time, and he can't build an O-line. And the Riders were having a tough time building the O-line. But you have to give Jeremy O'Day and his crew credit. They built a super offensive line led by Edwin Harrison. So great job there by Jeremy O'Day. I mean, you had Jamarcus Hardrick, who Jeremy let go and let go when he took over the team and let him go to Winnipeg, but gets him back. I thought, okay, buyer beware. You're buying some old goods coming from Winnipeg. Last year he got hurt, but like A.J. Ouellette, both those guys got hurt, but they both rebounded with career seasons. Jamarcus Hardrick, the outstanding offensive lineman of the year, and A.J. Ouellette, the offensive MVP for the Rough Riders, in my opinion, this year. But yeah, you had Hardrick. How about Logan Ferlin? You know my affection for him. I think he's the best offensive lineman in the Canadian Football League. Brammer had a good season. Travion Tate, who they got, comes back from injury. What a nice addition. That's like getting a free agent signing right before the playoffs. So that comes in handy. They had a lot of injuries on that offensive line this year. Peyton Collins was out. He's back in. Just a great job by that offensive line and by their offensive line coach, Edwin Harrison. So tip of the cap to Jeremy O'Day and his staff there. Also tip of the cap for a couple of additions. Tavon Campbell. Let's roll this here. This is going to go down. Where does this go down in the annals of Saskatchewan Rough Rider history for plays? This has got to be one of the greatest plays in Rough Rider history. Watch this. See the replay here. Marcus Sayles recovers it. But watch Tavon Campbell, who is a physical guy. Physical and fast. And what an absolutely outstanding play. We'll see the replay here. Kudos to Bomber fans for showing up to the game, too. A lot of Bomber fans went to the game. It's got to be hard to watch your rival win in your stadium. Bombers didn't do it here in Saskatchewan. Marcus Sayles picked up off the scrap heap the year before when the Lions let him go. Another nice signing by Jeremy O'Day. But here, look at that. Boom, just blows it up on the end and pops it out. Rewind that again for me, Leander. Who cares? This is the play of the game right here. If the Alouettes score here, they're probably getting two. And now all of a sudden the Rider fans are like, what is going on here? Brett Lothar just cost us the Grey Cup. So it's second. It's a little finicky. I get that. That goes down. I'm just trying to think. Dave Ridgway's field goal, obviously. Corey Sheets having the ball fly out of his hands, and Darian Durant having the ball fly out of his hands, and it's recovered by Corey Sheets in the 2013 Grey Cup. That's one that's at the top of this. And then look at this. Boom! And the ball is out, and Sayles has it, and because of that, it's on the goal line. The Riders don't get it at the 1. It goes out to the 30. I'll tell you what, the Rough Riders were benefactors of an even schedule, like with the buys broken up the way they were. They built up some early season equity, stubbed their toe a bit. And Corey Mace, tip of the cap to him. Guys came here. He changed the culture of this team. He absolutely changed the culture of this team. These guys wanted to play for him. And, Corey Mace, like Corey Chamberlain before him, comes in, turns around a team that was rudderless, and Corey Chamberlain gets them to a home Grey Cup and wins. And another Corey comes in when they're rudderless, gets them to a Grey Cup, and they win. And they win for him. They love that. They love their coach, and I'm happy for a lot of guys on this team that I know personally and that I sent texts to, and Just an outstanding night in Rider Nation. 25-17, they win it. Let's see here. Too bad there are too many clowns in the 306 wearing green goggles. O'Day and Reynolds deserve some credit, in my opinion. Yeah, O'Day definitely deserves some credit. I just gave him some credit. Hey Norm, I don't. That comment's. We won't even read that comment. Can you delete that comment? Actually, see the bottom comment there? Yeah, just get rid of that. That's just dumb. Mitch Picton has been a consummate professional on this team. I'm so happy for him. Jackson Ford, who had a lot of injuries. Local Regina kid, grandfather of Rough Rider, GM of the Rough Riders in '89 when they won the Grey Cup, won it as a player in '66. So the Grey Cup back in the Ford family. That's awesome. Jaden Dahlke, who was a 5th-round draft pick a few years ago, thought he'd be a camp body coming out of the U of A, an older player, played with the Huskies, went to the U of A, and he wins the Grey Cup. His mom and dad and their family, there's 100 or so people when they go to Edmonton games, at least 40 to 60 at Rider games, and I'm sure a contingent there. Who else? Jorgen Hughes. Man, I feel so good for Jorgen Hughes. What a great guy. Saskatoon kid, Regina Ram, tried out briefly in the NFL, long snapper, stuck around through some tough times. He loves being a Saskatchewan Roughrider. I'm so proud of him. Happy he won the Grey Cup. Happy for A.J. Allen, who I said would be the breakout player of the year. I actually think, if not for Nathan Rourke, he's the most outstanding Canadian nominee coming out of the West. Just a great, great guy. Logan Ferlin. You already know what I think of Logan Ferlin. I got all day for Logan Ferlin. Nelson Lacombo is an outstanding athlete. U of S Husky grad. And just feels so good for him too. Kent Majuri, who is with the Riders, is a special teams coach. Corey Mace kept him here. Mark Mueller, former Regina Ram, friends with him. Just love that guy. And I'll tell you what, the Argos are looking for coaches now. It's a certain guy, the only guy in the media that said that Mike O'Shea'd be staying in Winnipeg. You're looking at him. So I said, there's nothing. My son was even where he said, there's nothing to worry about. Mike O'Shea's going nowhere. So he stays. Kyle Walters, the GM, stays, and Wade Miller wins the Commissioner's Award, and rightfully so, for getting that Bombers team to be one of the flagship teams in this league, along with the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Anyway, I will say, hey, and I do give credit, Andrew. Andrew says, Ballsy, you give credit to upper management more than a few clowns on Facebook. Well, I that is hard for me to do. I have my own personal story with those two gentlemen, and I'll use the word gentleman lightly as it relates to O'Day and Reynolds, but they're Grey Cup champs, and you can't take it away from them. Jeremy won as a player and now won as a general manager, and give credit where credit's due. Jeremy O'Day did a great job. He did. I can't say he didn't. And Craig Reynolds, a lot of people were wondering why Jeremy O'Day got to stay here, 6-12 and 6-12, but Craig Dickinson was let go. But they retained Jeremy O'Day. Craig Reynolds and Jeremy O'Day are really good friends, so that had a lot to do with it. But he said, hey, he's a rider, and I believe in him, and Craig Reynolds was proven right. The Rough Riders win 25-17. So listen, contrary to popular belief, I call it straight down the middle, good or bad. Straight down the middle, good or bad. I back it up. Let's go to the phones. I think this is Wade. Hi, is this Wade?
Hello?
Is this Wade?
Ward, yeah.
Ward. So Ward, what's up, man? You got to be happy with your Rough Riders.
Yeah, it's a few times in a lifetime. You always wonder if you'll live long enough to see it again, right?
Yeah, well, it doesn't happen a lot with this team, but that's the 5th championship, and they end the 3rd longest drought in the CFL. Now it's BC at 2011 and Hamilton in 1999.
Yeah, it's up, what do you call it? An up week in Saskatchewan?
Yeah, it'll be an up. Ward, it's going to be an up 6 months in Saskatchewan for sure.
Winter never seems quite as cold in a winning year, eh?
You got that right. Hey, so let's get a couple thoughts. Your thoughts on Trevor Harris tonight, cementing his legacy as a Canadian Football Hall of Famer.
I guess that's what he did. Yeah, he came through. Did enough to win. I mean, it wasn't quite the 2013 Durant run from wire to wire, but and if the biggest play is the other quarterback fumbling, that's kind of not the greatest play to hang your hat on, but he did it. He won.
Well, I'll tell you what,
85%, he did it.
Where does that play from Tavon Campbell rank in Rough Rider history? That's right up there.
It's not much better than 3 interceptions in
You didn't like? Come on!
It's not right up there. It's not a big offensive play. It's not.
Ward. Okay, wait a minute, Ward.
He did great. Yeah, it was great. Yeah, it was great. But
I'm not even a.
Like it was all slipping.
I'm not even a.
Like it was all slipping away.
Rider, yes, and that's why it's one of the greatest plays in Rider history. Ward, I'll tell you for free. If your kicker, who is a friend of mine, is really struggling this year, Brett Lothar, okay? I don't like talking to him about him like this. I texted him and said, I hope you win the Grey Cup. I hope you win it in a walk-off. I love Brett Lothar. I was sick to my stomach when he missed that 38-yard field goal. But the Riders, if Shea Patterson scores that touchdown, the Montreal Alouettes are winning the Grey Cup. They're going to get the 2 points. They're going to get the ball back. And the Riders don't trust their field goal kicker after he misses a 38-yard field goal. I don't know what you want, but that was one of the greatest plays in Rough Rider history.
100%. You're absolutely right. They were on their way to pissing it all away. You're absolutely right. It was a great play, but it's not the kick, right? It's not the 89 kick, right? It's not
sure, I didn't say it's the greatest play in Rider history, but I mean, come on. You got the 89 kick. You had 3 interceptions from Johnson, so those were great plays, but there wasn't one individual play. If I'm talking individual plays in Rider history, in Rider championship history, you had the kick, so I put that at 1. I would put 2, Darian Durant fumbling and Corey Sheets recovering his fumble out of midair and goes for the goes for the first down.
That just felt like destiny. When that happened, that just felt like destiny. It just felt like it was going to happen. Like nothing could stop them then.
Yeah, so I would actually put that play at 3, and I'd put this play at 2. This play won you guys your 5th Grey Cup. That is the second best play in Saskatchewan Roughrider Championship history. I can't think of a better. Honest to gosh, that is unbelievable. That was a huge.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, I guess you're right. I mean,
hey,
I don't know what happened in '60.
I don't either. You're right. I guess we could go since I was alive. But hey, outside of winning a championship at home, which was the greatest night in Rider history, this has got to be right there. To go into Winnipeg and win it in Winnipeg, you got to be smiling like a butcher's dog if you're a Rider fan.
No, it's a little extra special, yeah. Just to paint out the Bomber logo and put our S there, and see the Winnipeg fans. You could see them cheering against us in the crowd, and so we sent them home, to their houses.
Yeah. Well, you have to understand something. This is very hard for me to do a show like this because I have skin in the game now in Winnipeg. But it was a great football weekend. Like you had a great week in Winnipeg. Rider fans could go there fairly on the cheap. It's not like they had to go to Ottawa or Montreal for the game. Winnipeg's a lot like Regina, whether we want to admit it or not. Manitoba, a lot like Saskatchewan. I know that for a fact now, being in the middle of it. So they all got to kind of party together, natural rivals. I love to see it. One of my favorite things about CFL Grey Cup is the cheerleaders in parkas. That is hilarious. I love it. Isn't that Canadiana right there?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's cool. I mean, it's very hard to appreciate how hard this is for you personally. I mean,
honestly, yeah,
you got the, like you say, you got the worst 2 years that there ever were, or maybe not ever were, but a couple of the worst. You know
what?
Things play out differently. You're getting sized for the ring or whatever, but
it is what it is, man. Absolutely. Hey, Ward, thanks for always paying attention to the show. Please tell your friends, like and share it. That's how we get going. Okay.
Hey, keep it going.
Thanks, buddy. Take care. Yeah, it is a. I'm glad he brought that up. It's. I'm not making this about me because it isn't about me tonight. But it is a different feeling. Like it is a really different feeling for me. I grew up loving this team since I was 6. Like I do. I will always have a kind of a soft spot in my heart for the Riders. It's like it's your first love. You love that person, and you got married, and it was great. But then things kind of went south. Now I'm not airing any dirty laundry. I'm not doing that. Tonight's not the night to do it. I don't know if I will ever do it, but it is kind of. It's like, yeah, it's like tonight was very much like watching your ex. I don't know. Fall in love again, and you had to watch it. It's like you sat there on your couch and you had to watch it, and you had to stomach it. Like, that's kind of, and they were celebrating in your house because your kid plays at that stadium. It's a weird feeling for me today. I'm happy for Rider Nation, and I'm very happy for the players that I know on that team. Another guy jumped on me because I said some of the players. It's not like I don't like the other players. I don't know the other players. I've interviewed Dante Myers. I bought Marcus Sales. I gave Marcus Sales a gift certificate to Stats Pizza, one of my sponsors, last year. I know Brett Lothar. I know Jorgen Hughes. I'm friends with Sean Bain Jr. Like, there's a lot of that team I'm still friends with. So, but I don't know of the other guys. So I'm just thanking the guys that I like. But yeah, it's weird because you got a kid who's on the Blue Bombers, and that would be like almost like a Flames Oilers type of thing. So it's just a really weird night for me tonight, but I'm very happy for Saskatchewan Roughrider Nation. They deserve it. They're a fan base that you don't get this every day in Saskatchewan. And who knows, maybe you will now. Corey Mace has come and changed that locker room. Maybe now this is the time for the Riders to get on a 3-4 year run. Maybe it is. Next year in Calgary and back here in Saskatchewan in 27. What else we got? We got a fake Bobby Jurison again. Bobby Jurison, you were a great football player, somebody said. It's not the real Bobby Jurison, folks. Kevin said, I honestly thought Campbell was going to win top Canadian with that play. I did too. I thought that he was, but no, it was Sam Emilus. He had a great game. It definitely is a top 3 play in Rough Rider history, like off the top of my head, like for championship history. Wasn't around in 66, but it's the kick, Tavon Campbell, and honestly, probably the Corey Sheets catch of the Darian Durant fumble early in the game. Who knows what happens with Hamilton there? Who knows? And when Ento dropped that when Ento dropped that sure pick 6, and when that pass interference was overturned at the goal line, that's been the Riders' DNA. They've created their own chances. They've capitalized when other teams haven't did what they should, like the BC Lions in the West Final, and it just felt like it was going to be the Riders' day. I even turned to my son. We watched the game. He said, it's the Riders' day today. This is the Riders' day today. All right, we're going to take a break. I don't know where Leander went. If you went to maybe you went to the washroom. Oh, he's coming. It's okay. You're moving better too. Leander wiped out the other day, fell down his steps, wrecked his ankle, so he's moving a little bit more freer. He looked like Davis Alexander limping from the bathroom, but he looks okay now. We're going to take a break and be back with more. The Waldo's Warriors here on the postgame show.
Waldo's Warriors, appropriately named after Paul Waldo, the local football legend, played for the Thunder, played for the Huskies, 3-time Grey Cup champ, and still coaching the Stars of Tomorrow today with the U of S Huskies. Well, now he's taken his talents to the real estate game with the Home Expert team on Vic Avenue East. If you want to get in the real estate game with the 3-time Grey Cup champ, give Paul and his team a call, 306-502-5355.
All right, so Waldo's Warriors, that'll be easy to pick. The Warriors, 2 of them, Trevor Harris, Canadian Football Hall of Famer by virtue of his stats and by virtue of his performance in the West Final and the Grey Cup today. Can never take it away from him. And he is a Waldo's Warrior. Sam Emilus, the outstanding Canadian, another Waldo's Warrior. Spectacular game from him. 10 catches, over 100 yards. Another Waldo's Warrior, Tavon Campbell. We've talked about him. Interception, forced fumble. Marcus Sales gets an honorable mention. Interception early in the game. and a fumble recovery on that hit by Tavon Campbell. Yeah, and how about that? Montreal turned the ball over. They were -4 in the takeaway giveaway category, which Corey Mace's defense has been really good with that. -4, and the Alouettes still had a chance to win that game at the end. So 25-17 the score. So those will be some Waldo's Warriors for me in this game. Super effort. On the other side for Montreal, Davis Alexander. First loss as a starting quarterback. His dad died recently from cancer, dedicated the season to his dad. And if not for an injured hamstring, you wonder if the Alouettes don't beat the Roughriders. I'm not taking anything away from the Roughriders, but, I mean, that took away half of his game. But the kid can rip it, and he was gutting it out at the end of that game. I love the composure. He is a young gun in this league, so is Trevor Harris. Who knows? Maybe he has a year, maybe he has 2, maybe he's got 10. I don't know. But we need younger guys in this league. We've got Nathan Rourke. We've got Davis Alexander, Drew Brown, although I'm still not sold on Drew Brown, but those 3 guys are 3 young and up-and-coming quarterbacks. Hopefully we can get Elgersma in this league. Maybe Curtis Rourke comes, a Rider draft pick. That could be the heir apparent to Trevor Harris if and when he comes here. Who cuts my hair? Actually, Sven. I love these guys that just make up stuff. Say, hey, Sven, I got to tell you something. That's fine. Leave it there. Whatever. Sven, when I come, I'm going to be gone for 2 weeks. There'll be no Ballsy Uncut. There'll be, obviously, this is our last post-game show. I'll have a different look the next time you see me. That's all I'm going to say, okay? Andrew Miller says, taking the high road, Ballsy, good on you, man. There's no other way to take but the high road. This from C Lighting 300. Ballsy Jr. coming to the Riders in a few years, starting safety. Ballsy Jr. grew up a Rough Rider fan. His favorite Rough Rider was Weston Dressler. He liked Mike McCullough. He's friends with Waldo. There's lots of guys because of who I am he's friends with. And Ethan's love for the Riders is why he's in the CFL. But Ethan is a very happy member of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. And actually our team ball feels like we won a Grey Cup here just 2 days ago because Mike O'Shea is back in Winnipeg, and he's the best. I think he's the best coach in the CFL. Ryan Dinwiddie's right there. And then you got to start mentioning, then right there are Corey Mace and Jason Moss. Both have won 1 Grey Cup as a leader of a team. Corey Mace is the secret sauce here that's really turned things around. And I kind of briefly mentioned this. Mark Mueller, man. I've been on the Mark Mueller train forever. Forever. Anybody that knows me knows this. Back on November the 28th, 2023, I got asked, who's going to be the next head coach of the Saskatchewan Roughriders? I'll give you a little inside information here. Here's a little tidbit for you. I don't know should I say it? Nah, I'm wrestling with this if I should say it or not. So on November 28th, 2023 on X or Twitter, so when I took the Rider job over, I was told to get the ratings back up on the radio station, and I was told to be ballsy, and I was told to break stories, and I've been covering this league for almost 30 years. So when they let Craig Dickinson go, I was like, okay, I wonder what's gonna, how does this look? I did some digging, and I found out that Corey Mace was going to be the head coach, and he was bringing Mark Mueller with him as the offensive coordinator. And I said that on my show. And then I was told to stop talking about it and take down my tweet because I wasn't supposed to say anything because the deal was already done and we were supposed to launch it on the station, except nobody told me I wasn't supposed to say anything. Nobody told me I wasn't supposed to say anything. So that's part of the reason why yours truly is not doing what he's doing. Anyway, I'm doing this and I'm happy to do this. But my whole point was Mark Mueller of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. What a great job he did with Trevor Harris. And Trevor Harris, we were sitting, I told you this last week, I said this week, we were sitting on the bus in Vancouver, downtown Vancouver, and Trevor wasn't playing because he was injured. And we were just talking, and he was along for the ride. He said, "Hey, Ballsy, what's Mark Mueller like?" I said, "Mark Mueller, if you ever got a chance to be with Mark Mueller, you will not want to be coached by another guy." Mark Mueller, because he was telling me he loved his time with Scott Milanovich. I said, "Mark Mueller is one of the smartest guys I've been around, and he's just a man's man. He's a dude's dude. You're going to love him, and he loves to collaborate, and he's a bright mind. He's going to be a head coach in this league." So if I'm the Toronto Argonauts, I am calling the Riders and asking permission to talk to Mark Mueller. No disrespect to Ken Austin, no disrespect to Orlando Steinauer, but why are we recycling these guys? Okay? Canadian coach Mike O'Shea, 5 Grey Cups he's been to, won 2 of them. His down season was a 10-8 year. Corey Mace, Canadian head coach, just won you guys a Grey Cup. I know you don't want to lose Mark Mueller, but Toronto, Mark Mueller, great guy. And Mike Pinball Clemens with no Ron Lancaster. Ron Lancaster is a hero. In fact, Ron Lancaster is probably the greatest figure in CFL history. Not the greatest rider, that's George Reed. But if you take his football playing, you take his coaching, and you take his broadcasting, nobody's better to the CFL than Ron Lancaster. And Mike Pinball Clemens would be right there. Probably 1 and 1A, like flip a coin. Could go either way. So why wouldn't Mike Pinball Clemens want to talk to the grandson of Ron Lancaster, Mark Mueller? Somebody put Mark Mueller as a head coach. Don't tell me he's too young. He's ready now. He's ready now. He was a coach with the Rams. He's a cerebral guy. He worked with Huffnagel, Dickinson, and Bo Levi Mitchell for years. And Dinwiddie, by the way. Then he comes to Saskatchewan and has an unbelievable season helping a 39-year-old quarterback who is often injured have one of the greatest seasons in his career at 39 and win a Grey Cup. Mark Mueller is a head coach in this league. Argos, you should get him right now. That's all I'm going to say. Jeffrey Gravel says, congratulations to the Riders. Hold on here. Hey, that's Ryan Hall. My buddy Ryan, who's on holidays with his wife. Hey, Michael, great season doing the post-game show. I really appreciate your work and passion for Canadian football at all levels. Enjoy the off-season. How about Nathan Rourke speaking up and criticizing the new rules? Respect. Yeah, he is. He is the face of the Canadian Football League, and he should be glorified for that. And he didn't back down from the commissioner because the rules are garbage. I don't like the rules. I think they're garbage too. But once again, I have never met the commissioner. If he tells me he's not going away from 3 downs, 65 yards wide, and motion and all that stuff, then I have to take him at face value. But I sure hope they change it. I sure hope, like, that field goal that Lothar attempted today would have been a 53-yarder. 53-yard field goal instead of a 38-yard field goal. Tell me how that's better for the game. And the guy had to run it out. We're going to see more touchbacks. We're going to see more punts. We're going to see more turnovers on downs. Oh, and did you guys see all the touchdowns scored around the goalpost at the front of the end zone? Never got in the way. Never got in the way. I don't know, man. I don't know about these rules. But like I said, I want this league to survive. My son gets paid to play in this league. I just will never support what they're doing with the field right now. The app, the websites, the better streaming, what they did, Grey Cup All Access, TSN's work, except for the glitching of the audio and the picture. That's what I want to see. That's what we need in the Canadian Football League. Somebody says Rourke needs to completely do up his chin strap to protect his brain, or they should call the penalty for illegal equipment. Well, he's not the only guy. He's not the only guy pressured up. He's not the only guy. There's lots of guys like that. By the way, each to their own, but Rambo wore that big, goofy Guardian cap. First of all, it wasn't the right color. Second of all, he looks like a Martian. Those things don't really, they're not going to help a receiver. They'll help linemen with repeated quick blows. They're not going to help a receiver. They're not. It's not going to help. That's just my thoughts on that. So we got you the Riders, Waldo's Warriors. I got you Davis Alexander. On defense, well, Montreal, I don't know. Did they have really... I wasn't impressed with Montreal's defense. Pretty weak tackling. Pretty... No pass rush. Trevor was clean, man. Now, a lot of that had to do with the Riders' offensive line, but Trevor was clean. So, I thought the Alouettes' defense was actually subpar. Noel Thorpe's been talked about in head coaching circles. I don't think he got himself any interviews after this game. Although, to be quite honest, actually, let me back that up. Maybe I can we edit that? Actually, his defense started slow. They didn't look good in the first half. They looked better in the second half. I think I'll give it to probably Wesley Sutton. I thought he was decent. He almost had an interception. I'll go Wesley Sutton on defense. And you know what? Alouettes turned the ball over 4 times and they were still in the game. 25 points. You got to score more than 17 points in the CFL. If you can't score 3 touchdowns in the CFL, there's something wrong with your offense. So I definitely am going to go with Sutton, and I'll back off my criticism a bit from Noel Thorpe. He had a little bit of problem. The rush just could not get to Trevor Harris. Maybe they missed Mustafa Johnson. They probably did big time there. So yeah, I'll back off that comment from Noel Thorpe. And special teams wise for the Alouettes, I'm not going to pick a special teams guy. I'm going to pick Tyson Philpott. I love Tyson Philpott. Good Canadian receiver. Always has some thoughtful things to say. Doesn't give you the same jargon all the time. So I'll go with Tyson Philpott. This NFL rules are boring. Missed field goal returns are exciting. Please don't want to be like NFL light. All right. Yeah, I don't want to either. So, that's going to do it for this year's Our Balls Are Bigger post-game show. A reminder to watch Ballsy Uncut. I'm taking some time away from Ballsy Uncut. I'm going to be busy doing some speaking engagements and everything like that. If you would like to get me to host one of your office parties, because we're coming up office party season, or MC an event, you can reach me, DM me at any of our handles at Ballsy Uncut on X, Facebook, and Instagram, or 306-526-7979. I'm booked up till December 2nd, but free after that. Love to have some fun with you. We talk some football, because you know I love CFL football. I don't care what happens. Hey, this comes in late. eBay search, Saskatchewan will win the 112th Grey Cup. Leaked prediction. Was it fixed? No. I went on, was it Grok or something? And it said that Montreal would beat Saskatchewan 28-27. So I don't buy that. Kevin says, good job, Ballsy. Have a good one. Before I wrap up, though, we got to say this. What a time for Saskatchewan football. The Hilltops, with a miraculous comeback over their provincial rivals, the Thunder, and then late field goal beat Okanagan to win the national championship. The Saskatchewan Roughriders beat the Montreal Alouettes in a tough game in Winnipeg, 25-17. And coming up next week, make sure you get your tickets and go support. There's some, if you're in Regina, there's some Regina kids on the Huskies. Riker Frank, Scott Flory's a Regina kid. Mason Nias, their assistant head coach, a Regina kid. He's going to his 4th Vanier Cup. He's lost the previous 3. Not to rub it in, just matter of fact. Riker Frank, the running back. So there's Regina kids on this team. And it's a Saskatchewan team. A chance for Saskatchewan to sweep the big football championships. So go support the Huskies against Montreal at the Vanier Cup at Mosaic Stadium next Saturday. Do it. Canadian football. We need to support Canadian football. And who knows, with these changes, this might be U Sports and junior football don't have to change, and I hope they don't. I hope they stay true to Canadian football. Get out and support these stars of tomorrow today. Like, you're looking at the Philpotts. Philpott against Campbell. UFC against the U of R. Lots of great young Canadian athletes playing in the CFL. You could You could spend 60 to 80 to 100 bucks watching them in the CFL, or you could watch them early for 12 to 20 bucks. I think a Vanier Cup ticket is 22 bucks. And yes, you can buy it at the door. Go cheer on the U of S Huskies. I'm a Ram guy, okay? I'm a Ram guy. I cheer for Mason Nice, and I like Scott Flory, and I like Paul Waldo, but I'm a Ram guy. And even I'm going to go there and actually, will I? No, I won't be in town then. But I'm going to send my son to that game. I'm going to buy tickets just like I did for the West Final, even though I didn't have a dog in the fight, because I'm a 3-down defender, okay? 3-down football right here, and our balls are bigger than Ballsy Uncut. Want to thank my sponsors this year, Ward Tire Craft, Italian Star Deli. Before you go to the parade this week, whenever it is, or the rally, wherever they have it, go get yourself a sandwich from Italian Star Deli. And if you want to get down there safely and get your winter tires, boom, go to Ward Tire Craft. The Den up in North Regina, just north of Evraz. Got a great indoor 40-yard football field, weights, massage table, red light therapy, cold plunge sauna. And Ethan Ball is going to be training athletes. He's going to be holding DB camps along with Shamar Donaldson and his speed training. So, yeah, we're going to be starting that. They're going to be starting that up at the Den. So thanks to them for getting on board. Also, Paul Waldo at Home Expert Team on Victoria Avenue, 306-502-5355. Get in the real estate game with the 3-time Grey Cup champ. He'd love to talk football with you and talk about a Ryder Grey Cup championship and hopefully for him, a Vanier Cup championship, because he's helping coach the U of S Huskies. One of your comments got erased. Well, I don't know why your CJ... maybe yours got erased inadvertently, CJ Lightning. We had a Norm McDonald... obviously made-up name, making fun of New Canadians and my producer. So that's why that comment got erased, okay? We appreciate everybody that checks this out. This was our most watched show, as it should be, because the Saskatchewan Roughriders are the 2025 Grey Cup champs. Once again, the final score, the Riders 25, the Alouettes 17. Congratulations to Corey Mace and his football team, as they are champions. And enjoy it, Rider Nation. It is an up night, an up week, an up off season around here. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks for catching the show. A reminder, the best form of promotion is word of mouth. So please tell everybody you know about this show. As we grow this show, we in turn help to grow the game we love, the 3-down game. Catch you next time.